I set out to make a beautiful underwater movie about sharks with no people in it. And then, as you saw in the movie, we, collided with a fishing boat and got charged with attempted murder, and everything changed dramatically.
The crew of the Veradero, the illegal shark fishing boat, claimed that we tried to kill them.
Okay.
I don't know what this is either.
You don't want this?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's the order.
Yes, it's the order of the judge. The judge is the official order to come on board and to make our research.
We basically just sort of realized that what was happening to us during the creation of the film was a compelling story, and that was a good way about not just showing what's happening to sharks, but showing the bigger scope of what humans are doing to the planet and how we're going to wipe ourselves off of it.
We found 2 fishing boats trailing 60 miles of long lines. A line with 16,000 baited hooks that would stretch from Earth to outer space. The boats fled because longline fishing is illegal in Galapagos, and we were left with the lines. I hopped in the water as soon as I could and brought my cameras and tried to film whatever I could find on the long lines. And we swam for probably 2 or 3 kilometers, pulling ourselves along the lines and unclipping every baited hook we could find. In total, we found 160 sharks, 5 sailfish, 4 dorado, and a tuna.
We were under invitation to go to Costa Rica to protect Cocos Island, a national park, from illegal shark fishing by the president of Costa Rica. And when we arrived in Costa Rica, we got charged with 7 counts of attempted murder for the 7 fishermen on board the boat that we ended up in the altercation with. And the president sort of washed his hands in the whole thing and took a step back. And it just shows you how much corruption there is in that country, that even though you're invited by the president, a couple of fishermen with no actual evidence can, outweigh 43 conservationists and 3 video cameras. And, it just shows you what's actually going on there. And what we ended up exposing was corruption between the mafia and the government that was allowing illegal fishing. And as soon as we exposed that, we had to run from Costa Rica while the Coast Guard was chasing us with machine guns, and we were wrapping our boat with barbed wire, trying to get out of the country.
Within minutes, the Coast Guard was chasing us with machine guns, telling us that they will shoot if we don't stop.
It was bleeding around to the sea.
Shark fins are $1 billion a year industry, and because it's $1 billion a year industry, and much of it's on the black market, you get organized crime syndicates around the world dealing in shark fins.
There were millions of dollars in fins in dozens of illegal operations that the authorities must have known about. All controlled by big business in Asia. At another fin operation, I found a trailer sitting next to the building and climbed on top to film the fins in broad daylight. There were at least 10,000 fins drying on the roof. Employees ran out, trying to push the fins out of sight of my camera. Then they stormed out of the building and headed straight for us, so we jumped into William's car and took off. The corruption was real. We'd uncovered a huge illegal fin industry in Costa Rica that the authorities ignored. Actually,
recently I heard via the news that because Costa Rica began discussions with China about investment, that Taiwan pulled a $92 million donation that they were donating to Costa Rica. And it just is an example of what's going on in the industry. Taiwan's building bridges and highways and buildings and libraries in Costa Rica. And for why? What's the reason?
How come everybody's ignoring that the Veradero 1 violated Guatemalan law, Costa Rican law, and international law, and we have the evidence on that? They cannot take sharks for fins alone. They cannot fish in Guatemalan waters. They cannot fish outside of Costa Rica without a permit. That's illegal. Everybody's ignoring that.
The biggest motion picture distributor in Costa Rica is releasing SharkWater on a big way. There's 3-story tall billboards. There's SharkWater all over buses. It's being released to the end of November. And they're really excited about it because of the controversy, because it deals with a Costa Rican issue, and it deals with corruption that's still at play in Costa Rica. There were, when we were there, private docks that were allowing these mafia rings to bring anything they wanted into port without being checked. And those are still being allowed today because of how much investment there is into this industry. So I think SharkWater is going to do really well in Costa Rica because it's going to enlighten the public. They pull the sharks out of the water, cut off just their fins and throw the rest of the body back into the ocean to die. And it's an incredibly wasteful practice. It's like killing an elephant for ivory.